It's the Jack
and Kathy
Show.
Shit Show.
And there we go.
Yeah, how was
Okay,
that?
that,
Did you like
I
that
think
one?
I think it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, babe.
How are you? How do you like my camping hat?
You look good in your camping hat, baby. Better if it's straight on,
Okay.
definitely.
Hi.
Why are you? Tell everybody why you're wearing your camping hat and why we're in a campground.
Because we're camping. How about that for a massive conclusion?
We actually just packed it all up.
We did. We packed up the whole car.
Yep. We are.
My phone, by the way. Do you see it anywhere?
No, I don't.
So I left it in the car. Okay. Anyway,
Um,
car's running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The car's running because we're powering electronic
podcast.
equipment in the middle of the campground.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are in Willow River State Park,
Yeah.
which is in Hudson, Wisconsin, very close to the Minnesota-Wisconsin border.
Mhm.
We had a wonderful wedding
Very
in.
pretty.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful wedding to go to. Our friend's daughter got married Friday in Stillwater, Minnesota. Oh my gosh, it was
Oh, it's awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
The wedding was fantastic, and if you haven't been to Stillwater, I highly recommend it.
By the way, do you know I still have the backpack on?
Well, it's in case your camel
Jesus
pack,
Christ.
your
I'm looking at
camelback,
myself in the podcast.
just
What
in
are you
case,
wearing, you
just in case you get
idiot.
parched during your podcast.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's why we
Yeah.
planned a camping trip, and we're leaving a little bit early. We weren't supposed to leave until tomorrow because the
Yeah.
raindrops are supposed to start falling any minute now. So we're
Yeah.
all packed up and we're ready to go. But we brought our podcasting equipment because we
Yeah.
thought we would do it from the campground. So
Because you thought it'd be cool to do a campground thing. So
Yeah.
that behind us is where we were sleeping.
yeah, and cooking,
And by cooking,
meaning,
hmm
oh, babe.
What?
Your mother is rolling her eyes right now.
she's the only one who listens.
No, Aaron listens and Carol listens.
So yeah,
and my
we
dad
we got a
listens.
brand new tent because last year, if y'all follow us at all, you'll know that last year at this time I broke 2 ribs because I flew 16 feet in the air off of a jump.
Now it's 16 feet.
16 feet.
Okay, we do know that story becomes grander, more and more grand every time you tell it, because I think you actually went about 14 inches in the
Ow.
air.
I flipped
And
over
now-
the bike. So
Yeah.
to flip over the bike, logically, you flip over the bike head to head is at least 7 feet. Like the bottom of the bike to the front of the bike, back to front is 7 feet. So if I went over the bike,
Okay.
I had at least.
Oh, you mean the distance you flew, not up in the air?
I flew. Well, no, I went over the bike. So if I'm 3 feet off the ground on the bike and then I go up in the air and then land, I had to be at least 4 feet in the air when I landed on my ribs.
Okay.
The bike itself was not flying 16 feet. I was. That's what I'm saying. I'm the ass here. I'm the one who hit a jump and went whoops and flipped over the bike. Anyway, last year at this time, Kathy, like today, was really mean to me.
Everybody knows better, babe.
You were really, really mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I broke my ribs the first 10 minutes of camping, basically, right?
Yeah.
We were there an hour and I broke my ribs and we still muscled through it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went camping again. Oh my God, raindrops.
Oh my gosh.
that funny?
Okay.
We'll get through
Talk
this.
fast.
No, we'll get through this. We're in a canopy. So anyway, we went camping again. We went mountain biking today, which was awesome. We had a great time.
Paddleboarding yesterday.
Paddleboarding yesterday, which
We
was
just
great.
took a hike over to the waterfalls
Yeah.
here. It's really,
Beautiful.
really pretty.
Yeah, and we were going to stay tonight and come home tomorrow, and then we just got this forecast of rain and thought, we don't need. If we were here for a longer period of time, we would deal with a day or two of rain. But
Yep.
to
But
kind
we
of
called it.
to kind of have nothing to do and sit in rain really seems silly.
Agreed.
So we're went for a beautiful hike today, great mountain bike today, had an awesome time last night. Anyway, where I was going is last time we mountain biked, we had a tiny 2-person tent, and last time we went camping rather,
Mm-hmm.
and when I broke my ribs, that tent was impossible.
Yep.
You literally, it was a sleeping tent. You just crawled in, and so this
It was
year,
because I bought that tent before I even met you.
Yeah.
I was single and determined to do
yeah,
everything I wanted to do on my own and not wait for a partner. So I started collecting all my camping equipment
yeah,
and buying concert tickets. Like
Yeah.
when I met you, I had pretty much
Lots
all
of
my
men.
camping equipment. And then I also had tickets to Red Rocks.
yeah.
I was poised. I was like going to not wait for no man. No way.
And then,
And then I met you,
craziest
and I
thing you ever
made
done.
you crawl into a 2-person tent
After breaking my ribs.
with broken ribs.
Then you elbowed me all
To
night
be
long.
sure,
Yes.
I suggested we go and get
You did.
get you perhaps, I don't know, an X-ray.
You did say that, and then under your breath, you're like, "What a wimp."
Yeah, right. No, the fact that you were having trouble breathing
That was bad.
was a dead giveaway.
So where I was going with this whole story, if you're watching the video, behind us was this huge tent we now have, which has basically got a vestibule. It's got
it's got an east
it's
wing.
maid's quarters. It's got a chef. It's 2 bathrooms. 4
Valet.
bedroom, 2.5 bath.
Valet parking.
It's huge. We can both stand up in it very easily. It fits
gosh, yeah.
It fits that mattress we have is a queen size mattress.
Mm-hmm.
So it fits a queen size mattress with room on both sides for end tables, right?
Oh yeah.
And it has a front vestibule, to be sure, it really does.
Yep.
And then a big bedroom, and it's all indoors, so it's not like it's just a screen. It's all with windows.
Tent
It says
material.
it's
Yeah,
tent
it's
material.
all tented. It's
Anyway,
like a 2-room tent.
Kathy turned the front vestibule into her personal
Porta potty.
porta potty.
You purchased my favorite
Of
camping
all the
accessory
things I've ever bought you, beautiful
of
mountain
all
bike,
time.
great tent.
I mean, the mountain bike is pretty amazing,
of
but
all the things I've bought you, there's one thing I feel like having you run and get it right
it's
now.
only superseded by this one item, which is basically
It's called a lovable loo. It's literally what's called
a lovable
LOO.
loo. It is basically one of those buckets you get at Home Depot,
Yeah.
5-gallon buckets with a toilet seat lid on it.
It's got a toilet seat lid. It's hilarious. It snaps
That's
onto a
just
bucket.
Sits in the corner of that
You
second
flip
room.
up the lid. Kathy sits down and goes to the
And then
bathroom.
when Kathy has to get up to pee 7 times at
it's
night,
so
because all
funny.
I did was drink liquids near the campfire
Yeah.
last night.
What kind of liquids?
Oh, well, lots and lots of water,
You did
to be
drink
sure.
a ton of water.
But then I had a little red wine and
And
then
some Boyben.
a little bit of Boyben.
Buffalo Trace.
Yes, we had some Boyben.
Yeah.
And we played Yahtzee
That
by
was
the campfire.
fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
You
played
were
again this
cute.
morning at breakfast.
You were cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very cute.
I'm cuter when I win.
You are a little ornery when you
You got
lose.
Yahtzee twice, man.
I did.
That
I
was
totally
good.
cheated. Those are weighted die. I want to tell you, I had a little remote control. You didn't realize it.
Nice.
We had a
You
really
me
nice
fooled.
time. And
Absolutely.
I love how much we do together.
Mm-hmm.
So the wedding was awesome. We stayed at this amazing Airbnb that was incredibly well designed.
Yes,
New
again,
construction.
Stillwater, Minnesota.
Yeah.
We could even put the link to the Airbnb on our podcast. But oh my gosh, if anybody's been there,
Yeah.
chime in. Let us know what you thought about it.
It
But
was
it is
awesome.
a historic town
Yeah.
on the St. Croix River.
Yeah.
Some great mountain bike trails, adorable downtown. But
Yeah.
beware, the pitch of the
Oh, God.
hills, the streets
It's
was
got to be
like
10 degrees, it feels
oh
like.
my
If not-
goodness,
if
it
not
was
more. It's like San Francisco.
serious. And we hopped on our bikes the first day from our
Rode down.
Airbnb,
It was great.
rode 1 mile into town, which we thought no big deal, but
Yeah.
it was a steep descent
Yeah, it was
into
hilarious.
town to the water level. Oh, you can hear the raindrops starting.
Yeah. We'll get out of here soon. We're 10
And-
minutes in. We'll be okay.
But
But yeah, it was
I
funny
don't know,
because we
babe.
had. No, we'll be okay. The canopy will be
Okay.
okay. Trust me.
okay,
We're good.
all right.
If we got to rush, we'll rush. We'll be okay.
Okay.
So, and we can always press pause and do it when we get home.
Yeah,
I think
true
it's
that.
a cool thing. So,
So what do you want to talk about today?
well, we had some stuff that was on my phone, but what were we, remember we were talking about it yesterday? We said, "Oh my God, it's a podcast." We do this all the time. We're like, "It's a podcast," and we write it down.
We
and
hit
we're like,
record, and they were like, "What are we going to talk about? What was it
What
again?"
were we talking about? We were talking about some cool stuff. Oh, the rain is coming. This would really be a cool two-parter for Key. I know it's a lot for Key to manage, but even if we talked for 10 minutes and then stopped and got home and finished.
I think we need to, because I honestly think
Yeah,
it's
starting
going to,
to
the
rain.
skies, it's going to open up. I really do.
Well,
so,
we are under a canopy, so we got
Yeah,
do
but you have
time.
your computer out, babe.
I know. I'll be able to pack it up really fast.
Babe.
So anyway, let's try to wrap this up real quick because we're 10 minutes in, and we'll get home and we'll finish the podcast. What do
Okay.
you say?
I love it.
Okay, but because you can see the raindrops are all over the computer now. But I want everyone to know we had a ball. Kathy and I talk about this all the time. We have never spent this much time with another human being.
No.
our life,
oh my
right?
God, no. I don't know. It's crazy learning all kinds of new
Yeah.
things, continuous new things about you
But we
and
love
about
it.
myself. Yeah.
But we love it, right?
Oh gosh, absolutely. Okay.
Okay, look, we're going to stop here. The rain is starting to come down. We want to let you know that we were camping, so it's kind of a cool view if you're watching this. And then when we get home, we'll resume the podcast. Maybe we'll remember what
That sounds
remember
good.
what we were talking about.
I like a plan.
All right.
All right.
Hugs, kisses. See you in a little bit. All right. Peace, guys. See you in a little bit.
Peace.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. We're back.
We are back. Not that anybody knew we were missing, but we did leave the campsite because
someone find us?
It started to rain
It started
pretty
to
bad.
rain. Yeah.
And
So-
we got the hail out of there and we came home.
We had all this electronical equipment outside.
Yeah, they don't recommend that with the rain. So picking up where we left
They
off.
don't recommend that with the rain.
Yeah,
That's
they don't
really
recommend
cute.
having rain on your electronic equipment. That's not
It's like
recommended.
rain on your electronic equipment.
Speaking of which, it was so funny because at the
Oh,
wedding,
yeah. Good
at the
segue.
wedding we went to,
Nice.
at the wedding we went to, it was absolutely beautiful, stunning day. It was warm, but it was stunning. It's August 11th.
Yep.
And we're seating. Everyone is sitting down.
Sitting.
Is starting to seat themselves. What am I trying to say? Is
I have no idea.
is sitting down, waiting for the ceremony, and it's along this gorgeous bendy river, and there's a gorgeous gazebo with flowers off of it, and then the ceremony begins, and these terrible clouds start rolling in. These
From
ominous
behind-
clouds behind the
Facing
They're-
us, but
yes.
behind the wedding party.
behind the wedding party, behind the officiant, and
Right.
all the guests can see these ominous clouds moving in, and
It went from, can I interrupt for a second? It went from such a hot day that we sat in the back row because it was still under shade of tree.
oh yeah, because
Right.
I can be a sweaty mess. So
Yeah.
if I see shade, I'm like, I'm sitting there,
And
even
so
if it's in the back.
what's funny is that we sit in the shade. I look at you and I go, do you want me to get you the umbrella for shade, not for
Yeah.
rain? Mm-hmm. And the day was wispy clouds and puffy clouds all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so to reiterate your point, behind this river runs right behind the couple. It was gorgeous, and this hillside was really big, looked borderline mountain-esque, right? And then all of a sudden you see this black thing coming toward us, this cloud.
Absolutely.
So the umbrella would have served two purposes.
And even the groom had said, we might want to hustle this along a little bit.
Right.
And the officiant turns around and he's like, oh boy, okay.
And then these anti-M style Kansas winds from
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wizard of Oz start blowing, trees are bending.
So they wrap up the ceremony real quick, and we're all walking the 100 yards back into the event venue, and the rain is coming down,
Pouring
and the
down.
wind is blowing.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because fast forward in
I know
the
where you're
evening
going with
where
this.
the bride and groom are entering the hall, the facility again, and you all stand up and clap and raise your glass and all that stuff. The song that they played was what you just said.
Right, ironic.
It's like Rain on Your Wedding
Right.
Day by
It's
Alanis
like
Morris.
rain
Yeah,
on
that's
your
is that
wedding
the
day?
Jagged Little Pill song? Is that what
It
that
is,
one?
yeah. That's what they walked into,
but
which
yeah,
was
just
brilliant.
that part, it's like rain on your wedding day. But it was
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful wedding, and then the skies cleared up, and it was
cool.
the lights came on the trees, and
Yeah.
we had so much fun. But
It was really neat.
yeah,
it was a neat
it's fun.
time,
We're in
yeah.
the zone where we're going to our
Yeah.
friends' children's weddings now.
They're fun though.
Oh yeah, your daughter Alex and her husband Sam got married in June, and they are hopping all over the country for weddings.
Yeah.
But we are in the wedding zone of our friends'
Yep.
children, and then
Yeah.
we have my little cousin gets married
Yep.
in a couple of months. So anyway, it's just fun. Weddings are fun.
I told you
No
that
one-
I thought everyone should have an anniversary wedding. Like every year you
No
have a
one
big
would
party.
come.
I would.
Nobody comes
Because-
out like they do for weddings.
You mean they wouldn't even come out for our anniversary party?
No, they would not. No, people fly across the country. They spend money on hotels. They do all this crazy stuff.
So more people should get divorced then and remarry.
That is the moral of my story. Yes,
That's what I picked up.
highly recommend divorce. Just keep that wedding business industry afloat.
Yes.
Single-handedly.
So then at the wedding, we sat. Was that too bright, babe?
No, I look young. It's hiding it's blasting all kinds of imperfections out of the water.
I got to get taller on this ball. We need another chair for me.
Yeah, can you stop squeaking your ball against my chair, please?
That's what she said. So
Wedding.
we sit at the wedding. This is all part of today's podcast.
Yes,
Right.
This all segues into what our topic is, and it's kind of Jack and I had a self-observation, and it all stemmed from this wedding. We sat with an incredible group of people. I knew all of them.
Yeah.
All of them were new to you. We sat with our friends, the mother and father of the bride were at our table. We were at table 18.
And it was a rectangular table because that's important to
Yes. So the couples all sat next to each other. Jack and I sat across from each other.
I missed you so much that night.
You did all right, baby.
Thank you, but
All
you
by
were so
yourself.
far away.
But and then the next day we had brunch as well, and sat with these same individuals at a round table at brunch, and had so much fun, and we really, really, really enjoyed each and every person that was at our table. Just so interesting people, everyone with a different story, and
Well, and it's, if I may,
yeah.
I'd like each one of them to be on the podcast, and I'm going to ask
would love
them.
that.
I think
We'll
we
have
should
to hit
ask
them
them
up.
this week if there's a chance that they could listen to it, see if it's something of interest to them. I think Nan and Richard may be a little more sensitive because of her line of work, which I could understand. Mm-hmm. But each one of them, our podcast is about relationships, right? And thanks to Erin Tim, who said you should have more guests on. Mm-hmm. Not that she thinks we're boring, right, Erin? But Erin's point is have guests on, right? And I've taken to heart that idea since you brought it up to us last year. And each one of them has an interesting. Stop moving.
Yeah, stop
Okay,
rolling.
I'll stop. I promise. Okay. Each one of these couples has a very interesting relationship story that I would like to talk about. Like last week, we met with Nilsa and Paul, and their dynamics as a couple and how they build a business together. And that's what this is about, right? We're sharing our story and other people's stories, not from a psychiatry or psychology or advice perspective, just stories of how people manage and live lives. So one is Conrad and Kyle. So their story is really interesting and unique, right? And then there's Nan and Richard, who both lost spouses to death and then found each other. They were both widowers. And then there was Joelle and Trent, who have been together 31 years, right?
Yeah.
And all that. There's just different stories with each one of them.
Absolutely.
And I came to really, really enjoy. Now we can also do Jenny and John too. I just don't think they'd ever do it. She doesn't strike me
None
as
of the other ones might want to do it either.
Well, it's true. Richard probably would, and Nan wouldn't say a thing. But I just found it was interesting because they were really neat people, and because I was away from you, and Jenny and John felt that if there was one couple that could really handle a separation, so to speak, it was us. And so I got a chance to really talk with Richard and Nan, and of course you were talking with Conrad and Kyle, and it was really neat because we got to meet these really cool people, and we ended up sharing much of the night together with them, right? Like I went and had scotch and bourbon with Richard, and occasionally we were dancing with Joelle and Trent.
Yeah. They
So
were our,
we were
our
table
go-to
18.
core group at the wedding for sure.
Right.
And then also, like I said, we shared the brunch table with them, and Jack and I are not strangers to leading a conversation or how do I set this up to our
I can
topic?
I can set it up.
Okay, you said it.
So you and I are not afraid to talk.
We are not afraid to talk.
We're very
we are
good
the
listeners.
2 people with a podcast, so we are
Right.
not afraid to talk.
We're not afraid to talk. We have a ton of stories. We listen very well. Lately, it feels, you and I felt this way. This is the purpose of the podcast. Lately, it feels we're listening less and telling stories more because we're so excited to share our experiences of life. I think that my feeling is that's it. We're very excited about our lives, and so it's natural for us to just want to share all these cool things we're experiencing. And I can start here by saying I was talking with Richard about something, and I realized, like I always do, that I'm going on and on and on with this story. And I look at Richard and I went, I'm going to land this plane. And he started laughing for 2 reasons. Remember he said, I told you he said this?
Yeah.
He said, that's the coolest way to describe it. And I was waiting for the end. So
Well, I like how honest he was with
Yeah.
you. Like, oh no, dude, it's okay. Keep talking.
keep talking.
It's like, no.
So we don't have problem holding court and telling stories. And all it takes is for someone to throw a little anecdote out there, and credit to us because I think we're very connected.
You're just patting us on the back. This
Well,
credit to us.
No, but we're very well connected to stuff. So if someone would say, hey, this movie, blah, 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 like, oh my God, we saw it twice, right? Or this song or this band or this business. We are so well connected to a lot of topics that we can chime in. So Table 18 meets at the brunch the next morning. We call ourselves Table 18. And we just all happen to sit again at a table. And you tell the story from here.
Well, it was afterwards when Jack and I departed. Everybody said goodbye after brunch. Jack and I are in our fancy brunch clothes driving to our campsite now, which is so funny because we do have pictures of us in our fancy Jack in his seersucker shorts and white linen shirt putting up a tent. And I said to him in the car, I said, do you think we talk too much? And you paused because I thought you were going to say, what are you talking about? But instead you said, yeah, I think we do.
Well, maybe because we're so used to one another and we talk. That's the
We talk
We
a
said
lot.
this-
I think maybe we talk too much.
we said. Don't say that. We said this at the beginning of this podcast when we were recording it at the campsite. We started to say, and then the rain started coming, how we spend every minute of the day together and we always have something to talk. Like, always. Like I get nervous when we're not talking sometimes.
That's not hard to do with you, Jack Honar.
No, but you talk too. But we always have things to talk about and share and stories. And if I can just elaborate, because I think it's fucking funny. We're sitting at this table and everyone starts asking about camping, right? Are you guys ready for camping? You don't look like you're ready for camping. And so Kathy and I, blah, 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 camping, right?
Yes.
So we ramble about camping. And then someone talks about the city because Kyle and Conrad were going to a Boys Town event in Chicago this weekend. And we were talking about traffic. And the next thing you know, you and I start talking about traffic.
I don't know. I think we have a bad habit of.
No, but we were enthusiastic. We weren't cutting. I don't think we were cutting anyone off. However, we were like, oh my
I
God,
hope
yeah.
not. That's my
the other day
fear.
we were driving there. We had 7 hours and 2 minutes.
I think for me, I get so excited in connecting with people.
That's
that I
it. That's
then
what I'm saying.
Tell my story, and I pray that it wasn't that I stopped listening, but it was something that I somehow became conscientious of when we departed, and so that was what we wrote down to.
Do you know when it hit for me? Is we were talking
Wrote down that
about
question.
yeah, we were talking about camping, and then they were saying how they would never camp. And then the next thing you know, Nan says, because it's all on the camping lines, have you ever seen Alone? Which, by the way, Kathy and I are going to try to enter as a couple because you are a natural.
Oh my God!
You saw the squirrel today. I didn't even see it. You're like, food. This morning,
Dinner.
you're like, dinner. So Nan says, have you ever seen Alone?
Get the bow and arrow.
Yeah, Nan says, have you ever seen Alone?
I actually think I said that because they were talking about
No, she said it.
binging television shows.
She said it. Nan said it. Have you ever seen Alone? And I'm going to throw young Kathy under the proverbial bus right now. Because Kathy she goes, have you ever seen Alone? And Kathy goes, oh my God, it's so good. And Nan never finished talking about it, right? And then I went, oh, do you remember that one season with the bear and the Wolverine and the moose and the tower? And then you went, oh yeah, and how about the guy with the hut? And then the girl who was a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And the two of us took off. And then Trent and Joelle say,
What?
have you ever seen this, like Yellowstone? We start talking about Yellowstone, and I say, oh, Kathy ripped on a Yellowstone, and you go and tell the story of the stake through the ranger's chest. And then we started talking about Love is Blind, and then we started talking about the new...
We talk too much.
Wait,
You're
and then-
summarizing it. We talk too much.
Wait, and then... But you have to, guys, if you guys are listening to us, if you can imagine, there's 8 of us sitting at this table, and someone would bring something up, and then Kathy would be like, "Oh my God!" And then, blah, 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 and then you. But it was almost as if we forgot that we were with a bunch of people,
Yeah.
and so then it ended like this. Someone says, "Have you seen the show Jury Duty?" And we both went, "Oh my God, must see! Gotta watch it! You can't miss
We
it!"
talked about it on the podcast.
Jury Duty, yes. And so we start going on about it, and I look at you at one point because this is when it dawned on me, because everyone's just kind of staring at us, and if you're watching the YouTube right now, they're kind of like this. They're kind of doing that, huh? All right, you know that.
Were they
Were they?
for real?
Oh yeah, that's why. Don't you remember I went like this? I'm like, well, let's stop right there. Remember I said let's stop right
Oh,
there.
because I thought you were stopping me so that I didn't ruin the ending. I didn't.
It
know you were
was
stopping me
more-
because I was talking too frickin' much.
It was more because, well, it wasn't you talking too much.
Oh,
It was us.
yeah.
And so that's when I looked around and I saw Trent and Joelle kind of like glazing over, like, what the fuck are we, like a jacket?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they felt they were at an audience
I know.
episode of our podcast.
I get so excited, like my energy level rises, and it's really actually joy, and it makes me talk more, and I don't know. I hope the takeaway isn't that, yeah, fun hanging out with Jack and Kathy. They talk their asses off.
We do, though, I think. We're so excited to share stuff with people. And I'm starting to realize most people are like, don't give a fuck about your lives. Great. You guys put flowers in. We're so happy for you. And I mean this. Ready? I think it's threefold. Ready? I really mean it. I think
Okay.
it's 3 things. I think 1, we're excited about our relationship. Right? Because we have something that's really important to us.
Yeah.
Fair?
Yeah.
And so because we're so excited about a relationship, we feel that everyone else is going to want to be just as excited about our finishing the back porch or hanging lights or we got the molding in.
I don't think I feel like other people are going to be that interested in it. I'm just engaging.
No,
like,
I don't think, I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. I don't
Yeah.
think it's that we think that. I think we like each other so much that we're just so excited about it, and telling people about us makes us feel good because we feel like we're connecting.
I think that's it. I think you feel, you share your own story because that's your way of connecting in with that other person. It's like finding common ground. What they bring up, you can relate to, and that's how you engage. I just wondered if we did it too much and we need to be more conscientious of listening. That was my worry.
Well, I think we like people a lot, so we're excited to be out. Mm-hmm. And I think we're all just genuinely happy. And so all of those things come together to this verbal explosion of crap.
I'm out.
Maybe we do
Someone let me
spend maybe
out.
we do spend too much time together. That's why when we're out in these places,
We're like, can I talk to you? I talk to Jack a lot, but can I talk to you? Please talk to me. Will you be my friend?
And normally we are like, how many times do I tell you we go places and that I feel someone doesn't know me at all, but I could recite their entire family history, their job, because I spend so much time asking questions. It just seems lately, or in big groups, we tend to want to hold court.
I think in big groups it is a different dynamic because that is a very good skill set to be a good listener, to be a conscientious listener when you are meeting a new person. And say you're not sure what you're going to talk to someone about, a good rule of thumb is ask them questions that encourage them to talk about themselves.
Yeah,
because
for
people
sure.
do love talking about themselves.
Right.
Hello. And that is a way of making somebody feel comfortable, a new person feel comfortable around you
Yeah.
in talking about yourself. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So there you have it.
So we have social events Friday or Saturday and Sunday.
Well, Sunday is just my family.
Yeah, but still,
planning
we've-
the trip. But yeah, what?
Did we do it when everyone was over for your dad's birthday? Were we talking too much then? We were.
I'm sure we were. And then you pulled out the guitar and we're singing. It was like, oh my God, we're.
If you're watching the video, I have truly we have our hands on our head right now. You know that emoji where there's just a hand slap right in the middle
Well,
of the face.
you know what? Our propensity for conversation is why we have this frickin' podcast in the first place. So we can't completely beat ourselves up. But we need to make sure.
We need to dial
Jack
it down.
Honar, we need to make sure we don't overtake.
You know what I'm really curious about with this podcast
Conversations.
of the people that are listening? I'm going to put a comment, because when we load up these podcasts, you can write, add a question or a poll. And
Yeah.
not many people know it. I would love. Okay, so we have an email called. What's our email address? We have an email called. Is it? let me look up our email address
I think
because
it's Jack and Kathy shit show
at Gmail. I think so.
gmail.com.
I think that's what it is. Let me look up real quick. Jack and Kathy with a C, Jack A-N-D, Kathy shit show at gmail.com.
Yeah.
So can
Everything's
those
spelled
people
out.
listening or DM us at
Yeah,
Jack and
they can
Kathy shit
either
show
message-
Instagram. Are you and we're not going to be offended, right? Are you
Oh,
going to be
you want
offended?
them to comment on whether you and I talk too much?
Yes. Like I want to hear from Nancy. I want to Nancy's like, yeah, the two of you together. I'm sure she's going to say I talk too much for sure.
You do talk a lot.
Oh.
Oh.
And what's scary is that I had to tell you to turn it down because I found myself talking too much. And then all of a sudden I look over and you're going on and on and on about a story. I went, oh my God, I've created a monster. So I think we talk too much now.
I think we might talk too much. Let's make a pact.
Pinky?
Yes.
Pinky swear?
That moving forward, we're going to make sure we stay good listeners when we're meeting people, when we're in big groups, that we don't get carried away. Because my worry is that people won't feel, welcome or heard or engaged. And, the goal is.
Listeners.
Yeah.
What? Caught you off guard there, didn't I? That was great. The goal is to get people to listen to our
The goal
podcast.
is to be a good listener, and that is a good. Okay, stop with the ball.
I'm trying.
I'm buying you a chair today.
Okay, buy me a chair today. We need studio chairs then.
We need studio chairs. All right.
Can we
studio
test
chairs.
Chinese?
Tiny.
Oh, I thought you
studio
said
chairs.
Chinese. I'm like, what's a Chinese studio?
We'll do playback and see if I said Chinese. Tiny studio chairs.
So this weekend we're going to Danielle and
Taylor's
house for a welcome
Open house.
Open house.
Mm-hmm.
So let's test. Can we be that couple that Danielle calls you up? Let's have this goal. Danielle doesn't listen to the podcast, does she? She doesn't.
I
Doubt
don't
it.
think so.
So, and please don't, anyone that knows her, don't contact her and tell her what we're doing. Let's be that couple where Danielle says, my God, they were so nice. They're so quiet.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I
Let's
don't
make
know
that
if
a
we
goal.
need to be quiet.
Let's try that
We
as a
just
goal.
have to make sure there's some balance and we remain good human beings and good listeners.
But we are good
And-
human beings and good
Okay,
listeners. I
stop
can't. It's
rolling your
uncomfortable. Sorry. Don't I just stand and do the
He's
podcast?
going to be like, that ball you're sitting on. So that's it. Was that all we were going to talk about? Is how much we suck?
Yeah, we were both. Look, I said to Richard, "Let me land this plane," and he said, "Thank you." Which I'm acutely aware of who I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I just
You
the challenge
actually
is
said something really, I didn't know. You are very, very aware. And you said something this weekend
yeah, that blew you away.
that blew me away. How did you describe, like when you are going down the proverbial rabbit hole of explanation?
Yeah, I said
and-
it's a toxic. I don't remember exactly, but I said it's a toxic, endless attempt at explanation
Yes.
that goes nowhere.
Actually, sometimes it can go to a very
Bad
challenging
point.
place.
Well, but
Yes.
that means it serves no purpose.
Yeah.
It ends up losing
Yeah.
its point. I'm acutely aware of me. I was more surprised at how both of us took over the conversation because it's normally me at places that can go on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny that anytime anyone brought anything up, either one of us, to be sure everyone listening here, not just me, but you would go, "Oh my God, just watched it the other day. It was, oh my God, it was at that store." And then it wasn't just that. It was, so I was at that store, and then the attendant, first of all, attendant's name was Jim.
Does
What?
my voice sound like
No, but it's appropriate for now. You can do my voice. Go ahead. Good person like this. It's just funny to me that we were both of us, and then that's when I looked over and you're knee deep in this story, and I kind of did like my hand motion of like turn down the dial. And it was just funny that I went, "Oh my God, I created a monster." So for Danielle's party, let's have a goal of
Now watch, we're in the corner not talking to anybody.
who are those losers
talk.
over there.
Can't talk.
Let's give it we are. Don't you find this funny?
It is funny. So that's what we wanted to talk about, the being that we need to have more self-awareness when in a big crowd, that we don't take over the conversation and risk anyone feeling, left out or not heard or
Yeah, I feel because I
unimportant
think the big takeaway is we both feel terrible. Like we
yeah,
feel
we do.
bad.
I don't know what other people would say. Nobody would be really honest. Like if we were sitting
Oh.
at table 18 and we were like, "Did you guys think we talked too much?" They'd be like, "No."
I'm guessing right
because they'd
now-
all be really nice, right? They're all such fabulous people.
I'm going to bet my life on it. My daughter will be. Yeah, you guys do that. She'll be subtle. This is Alex.
I don't know if our kids are a good litmus test. They are. If we
Well-
inhale too deeply, our kids will be like, "Really?"
No, I think
So-
they're at the age where they're more willing to be honest. I think Nancy's going to come at it with the bluntest of instruments. Yeah,
Okay,
you guys.
Nancy and Aaron.
And Aaron
and
will
Carol.
Aaron will come at it with this. It's okay because it's all intention. It's good. You're trying to do it the right way. And so read between the lines with Aaron. It's like, yeah, you guys talk too much. Nancy will hit us with a blunt end of a hammer, especially me.
Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine what she's going to say now after I'm saying this about her.
Yeah. She was just here too.
We had a
she
blast
was just
with
here
her.
from New Zealand, and
See, we just did it. You just did it.
yeah,
We talk about Nancy, and next thing you know, right away you went, she was just here. And
She
there
was.
we go. The train leaves the station.
well, I mean, to be sure, there's nobody else we're talking over at the moment. There's nobody else in the room I'm talking over.
But that's the point. I don't think we think we're talking over. We just have so many experiences that for some reason we need to share. We need to break up. Is that
Tomorrow.
the answer?
No, tomorrow.
This has been a fun podcast. They're always fun.
Yes.
All right. So do you want to answer a question about anything or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Okay. When was the last time you really listened when you were at a meeting with somebody? How about that for a
What?
question? When was the last time you really listened?
And I go, what?
Right, exactly. That wasn't scripted.
It was not. Let me see.
Oh, golly gee, I'm so embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. We're learning. You know, the truth is you never stop learning. And I think it's really good to have a little, to look in the mirror and look a little critically at yourself. And I feel like that's what we were doing. I don't know where it is.
There it is, right bottom left. Yeah.
Okay.
Open-ended.
All right. This is the Gottman card deck. Which topic?
And we're doing this for Aaron because Aaron always asks us to do this. So just go to open-ended, right?
Okay.
Wanna do that?
Open-ended questions.
Okay.
Oh, what adventures would you like to have before you die? Oh my gosh, so many. I always say to Jack, we have only just begun. We just met 2 years ago, and we've crammed in so much already that we feel like we've been together for much, much longer. But really, we've only just begun. We have a few trips on the horizon that we're going to be taking. We've got, we just had Alex's wedding, which was so momentous in everyone's lives and in our lives together.
Yeah.
Such a special event. And so there'll be more of these huge family moments. And that's so exciting. This home has been like the baby we are giving birth to over 2 years.
It's terrible.
Long gestation period.
It's terrible twos right now.
And we talk about the next thing we want to do. Even when we were hiking yesterday to go see the waterfalls at the campground, we were talking about where I should book our trips next year. The places we want to go and see and experience together.
Yeah.
So I think adventure-wise, I don't see you and I, unless something physically grinds it to a halt for one of us.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're going to just keep creating these adventures. And I think part of it truly is meeting each other so late in life. We feel the sense that we don't have that long. Don't get off the party train because we might have till the end of the day. I mean, you just don't know. So we're super
we certainly
grateful.
physically can't do as much stuff as we could when we were younger.
No, but it does create something very on a conscientious level that we both want to stay strong and fit and healthy, so we don't have to slow down before we need to. So yeah, just a whole lifetime adventure. So I can't say that there's this one adventure I want at least one time to go to this place. I don't want to stop with you. It's like I finally found someone to play with.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
To me, we're so lucky that we also not just met at a certain age, but that are like, you don't have a 10-year-old kid right now or something, right? Or vice versa.
not that that's bad. Everybody can make it work.
No,
but
that's just not for us.
yeah.
Like, we needed to have grown children together.
Well, it certainly
helps our style.
Has added to what we have in common ground, coming from the same place where we have kids the same age and we don't have the younger kids, and because that would change the dynamic. Not bad or anything, but it would be different. And it just so happens that we, in this union and coming from the same place, we're the same age, and a very similar background, it gives us a lot of common ground.
Yeah, to answer the question of the app, and I really appreciate that we still do this for Erin because she likes these questions, and it does engage us, which is neat.
Yeah.
I just want to always be spontaneous with us and know that we truly do try to approach. We think about the future, but we try to approach it. We're living today. Wake up and we're going to get something today, whatever that is. And sometimes we have bad days or sometimes we just watch MI6 or MI 1 through 6, right? Mission Impossible. But for example,
Alex and Sam are going on their honeymoon, and we're watching Ellie. So we said, well, why don't we just stay down there one night,
Ellie
hang
would
out
be
in
the
this
dog.
dog. Why don't we stay down there one night in the city and then bring her back with us? And that's what I like about you, right? That everything's possible. You know what I mean? Like we're trying everything in life, and that's what I
Partly
enjoy.
is you. You make me feel like everything's possible. I mean, I clearly knew that at some level within myself, but to have a partner that also believes that and pushes for that and strives for that. Now, to be sure, sometimes I got to go, like, Jack, just because we have an extra 10 minutes on the calendar today doesn't mean that we can go
Mountain biking.
mountain biking or we can clean the garage and plant a dozen rose bushes. It's a small window. We could actually sit down for a second.
I know that's hard for me.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It's a challenge for me for sure. Well, anyway,
All right.
great podcast.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Mwah.
Peace.
Peace out.
Jack and Kathy Shit Show outro take
You
652.
should start off laughing. You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Kathy Shit Show.
Our senior producers are me.
Hey, and me,
This episode was produced, engineered, and mixed by.
the amazing Key Honar.
Email your questions, comments, or interesting relationship stories to Jack and Kathy Shitshow at gmail.com. That is Kathy with a C.
Be sure to follow and like our marvelous shit show on Instagram and TikTok at Jack and Kathy Shit Show. Apparently, liking and following is a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
This episode was produced by Pint Productions 2022. Point!